recently talking about being into politics, or why are some into politics, or what's the point of being into politics. And they were asking me like, why spend time in that? Not really spending time directly into politics, but there's certain aspects of our everyday life that are tied into politics, right? What I try to say is that we're not trying to be political, we're trying to be aware. And I think that's where a lot of people that are into politics now that weren't before, it's because it's affected them. And most people will not bat an eye until it directly affects them, until they feel something and what the heck is this? Why is this happening? Pretty much until it's too late. If you ask somebody, would we want to be governed by a Nazi regime? Most likely they would say no. Do they have any idea how much they're trying to usher that in? Probably not. And the thing is that we're living in unprecedented times, and I think that's what people do not understand yet. This is not normal. Nothing that's going on is normal. Before, many companies in media, in corporations, everything has been monopolized. Everything has gotten bought out by a bigger company, by a bigger firm, and they control everything. And now what we're seeing in media, seeing how Paramount, first Disney bought out like ESPN, Marvel, Fox Studios. Everything's getting monopolized into one. Cell phone companies buying out the smaller cell phone companies. Now there's only like 3 major ones. If you know anything about economics, or if you went to high school, you would know that the less companies and the less choices for consumers means higher prices, means less choice. So they don't have to compete with anybody else to lower their price, to find a way to make their products more affordable. And what's going on now, seeing that Paramount bought out CBS, and now they're probably going to take over Warner Brothers, which owns CNN and other BET, VH1, a lot of other channels. We don't know what they could do to them. They could cancel them. They could completely turn them around. So they're controlling, and what I mean they is a few billionaires are going to control what we see, what we can see. A lot of things are happening and have happened in the past year that are unprecedented. See, we're living in a time different than any other time, different than 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We're living in a time right now that's going to have lasting effects for years to come, for our kids, for our grandkids. And I think that's what people don't realize. The ones that are into politics are worried about the future. For those not into politics, if you don't think this Paramount buying Warner Brothers is a big deal, they've already cut Stephen Colbert because they don't like that he makes fun of Trump. So of course they call him a liberal. So they've already signed into one comedian and one show. Then they didn't allow the investigation that was supposed to come out on the Salvadorian mega prison, Secot, in El Salvador. They stopped it because they didn't want that to come out, even though it was ready to air. You can still see it, I think, on YouTube, but they did not show it in their channel because CBS is compromised. They also cut out the interview of Colbert with James Tallarico, the up-and-coming politician in Texas that sounds Christian, sounds really good, and he's a Democrat. So he's possibly a future president, or at least a nominee. So we've already seen that they're already, banning, cutting off critics, cutting off people that they don't like, that don't agree with them, or that don't bend the knee to them. That's authoritarianism. That's not a free country. That's not freedom of the press. That's not freedom. When they're muffling journalists and TV stations and firing anybody that worked in an investigation against Trump in years past, none of this is normal. And this is going to be read in the history books in the future. Some of us get it and some of us don't. So it's not about being into politics or liking politics. It's about being aware of what's happening and the direction this country is going in. And it's not a good direction.